Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, taking a look at some of the proposals from the Federal Executive Council as they've submitted to the National Assembly for some amendments. But, Mr. Issa, the bit where they're talking about Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal Establishment Bill of 2018, which is a new one that they've planned to send to the National Assembly, is different from the previous ones, which is going back and forth between the executive and the National Assembly. But how is that going to impede INEC in the performance of their jobs? It's not that they have to hold on, set this up before they proceed. Because I think in your previous submission, you were saying that, look, that may not allow INEC carry out their duties. If I heard you right, how is that going to impede them?
Okay, actually, that is not going to impede INEC. I didn't put it that way. We already have courts. We have regular courts. We have a working judicial system, though it might not be working to a lot of people's taste. But I don't see how setting up an Electoral Offences Commission and setting up an Electoral Offences Tribunal is going to stop INEC or impede INEC or hamper INEC from carrying out or conducting a fair and credible and free elections. That has something to do with how INEC conduct its elections. So my argument is that it's a good thing, as I said earlier. It sounds good, but we have seen a lot of good things that are actually done for the wrong reasons and for the wrong purposes and for the wrong motives. That is my argument. My argument is that it is suspect. Why they bring it now? It's not tenable. It can't fly. So it is distracting, so to speak. So I think the present administration should focus on amending the bill that has been going back and forth, get it harmonized, get it signed into law. That's one. Then strengthening the judiciary as it is right now. Strengthening the judiciary, empowering the judiciary, to empowering the police to prosecute electoral offenders. That is the simple thing. So it makes it look, when you hear something like Electoral Offense Commission and Electoral Offences Tribunal, it makes it look as if why we have never gotten anybody convicted for an electoral offense is because there have never been an Electoral Commission and there have never been an Electoral Tribunal. That is not true. That's what I'm trying to say. So in other words, we don't need that. We don't need that. It's not a need. It is something that might come up to strengthen the electoral process. It's something, but it is distracting at this time. It is distracting. It's just something to get applause. So is there anybody that has been arrested for vote buying? Is there anybody that has been arrested for voters card registration offenses, voter registration? Who has been arrested for that? Or can we claim as Nigerians that we have not seen cases of vote buying, we have not seen cases of underage being registered? We have seen them. Who have been arrested?
The thing is
that we lack the system or the procedure or the processes to arrest these offenders.
But if you carefully check, you may come across the report.
We have all this. We have all this already.
Yeah, but if you carefully check, you may come across the report credited to INEC where they say they've been able to prosecute 61 persons for electoral offense-related cases. But speaking about strengthening the process, because if you say they've not prosecuted, they clearly say, no, we have not. But yes, there's a challenge and a need to improve on the law, because the same Ken Namani Electoral Committee report, they say that what they found was that many of the cases in court were usually pre-election and post-election cases. They're trying to see what they can do to sort that bit out. But the aspect of them strengthening the judiciary, is that an executive function to do? Because I know that within the judiciary, they've talked about judicial reforms for like forever. But we haven't seen any report about that or any of them carrying that out, if I could say that.
Well, that is why I say we need to see this bill, this proposed bill by the executive, before we can comment authoritatively on it.
About judicial reforms?
The tribunal, who is going to man the tribunal? Who is going to appoint anybody to head the tribunal? Is it that they're going to have judges from the judiciary, as in present judges, that will command these tribunals? Those are the questions we need to ask.
No, let me rephrase that.
So if you say the judiciary,
I'm speaking about what you highlighted initially when you were speaking about judicial reforms. The cases spend far much more. In fact, the same committee report also said they found out that electoral-related cases in court cost far much more than the campaign itself. And here we are saying that election campaigns cost a lot. And then, if you then add to that, election cases in court costing far much more, how is that a function of the bill?
You see, that is another thing. You see, in Chamberlain, the truth of the matter is that maybe I'm being pessimistic here, but I don't see yet, maybe until I look at the bill, I keep repeating that, I don't see yet how setting up a commission at the tribunal is going to solve this issue. It is about overhauling the whole government process. It's about overhauling the whole culture of how we do government business. That's the thing. So we're talking about the commission. Is a commission going to have a new police force that will be arresting and prosecuting these offenders? That's the question I'm asking. So then if we say that the system is slow, the normal judiciary is making it slow, then the question is, are we going to have a new brand police force that is going to arrest? And if yes, why are they not arresting now? Are we going to have a new brand police force that's going to prosecute? So it's a total overhaul. It's not just about creating, this country have an attitude of when something is not working, even the commission is not working, you create another commission to make a failed commission work. When the committee is not working, you create another committee to make a failed committee work. And you keep creating layers upon layers of committees, layers upon layers of commission. And you call them reforms. That's not reforms to me.
Yeah, but Mr.
I don't see how creating a commission.
Are you refraining from
it's a reform?
Are you refraining from asking the judiciary to look inwards to ensure that cases in court don't spend forever? Because I do remember several cases where former CJN, Aloma Mokhtar, even the current CJN, have talked about how judges need to ensure that cases don't spend that long in courts.
That's exactly what I've been repeating, Chamberlain. I said earlier, I say it's about strengthening the judiciary as we have it. It's not about creating another commission. Because if there's a culture, if there's a system that perpetuates cases in court, it is not going to be different when a new tribunal is vetted. It's not going to be different because that tribunal is still going to be manned by Nigerians who are already used to doing things in a particular way. I'm a lawyer. Of course, maybe there's no way they're going to deny me appearance in that tribunal. So if lawyers are used to delaying cases, used to manipulating the rules, the regulations to delay cases, if the system is like that, how is the tribunal going to be any different?
Okay, since
that's
you
what we should be looking at.
In that
maybe
case, then,
the bill have looked into all this. Maybe the bill have actually addressed all this. We won't know until we look at the bill, until we see what the bill is saying.
Give us your recommendation on what we need to do specifically to ensure that cases are dispensed with in good time in courts.
Number one, we need to strengthen the rules of court. We need to strengthen the rules of court. Two, which is also a subset of number one, we need to look at the way adjournments are given, the time frame for filing a particular matter, the time frame for the defendant to reply, and how many adjournments can be given before a case is disposed of. We need to look at all of that because a lawyer can just wake up and for any flimsy reason get an adjournment. I want to have to also look at how the judicial officers work. At times, some judges don't sit. Some judges don't come to court. We have some very hardworking judges. We also have some judges that don't take their job as seriously as they should. So we should look at all these issues. It's about human factor. It's about human factor. How we should make sure our rules are not such that lawyers can easily exploit them. So if we look at all of this, then look at the issue of strengthening the infrastructure of administering justice in this country. The courts, the courtroom, How many judges do we have? How many judges are sitting? How many vacation judges do we have? When courts are on vacation. When we look at all of these, then we will be looking, we'll be looking at issues of, for instance, special issues like electoral offenses, just as we have the electoral petitions where after elections you go to the tribunal. You know, you have specific guidelines, specific deadlines that guide you. So all this should be applied across board. And when this is done, you see that cases will be disposed of fast.
Did you deliberately omit?
It's not about creating commissions and upon commissions.
Did you deliberately omit the way judges are appointed, or is that not a challenge for you?
You know, well, it is a challenge, but I don't think in terms of dispensing justice fast, in terms of dispensing justice quick, I don't think that's a major challenge, so to speak. But it's a challenge, you understand. But it affects the quality of judges. That's why some judges don't come to court. Some of them are not hardworking. People should be judges because they have passion, not just because it's a job. Not just because I want to have a job, not just because I want to get a fat pay. You must have passion. You must work hard. I appear before judges that are hard workers. But you go to some judges and they don't even come to court. You understand? They don't even come to court. And lawyers too. You know, we get adjournments for every flimsy excuses. You come before a judge, you bring a letter for adjournment, you tell him, I'm doing a case where a lawyer came to court and say he lost 2 of his mother-in-laws. The elder brother mother-in-law died, and his own mother-in-law died, and the judge granted an adjournment on that. You know, there should be a system where reasons for adjournments are sort of investigated. We can ascertain them, we can look at them, and see whether this lawyer is telling the truth. So I don't say how you lost 2 mother-in-laws. I sympathize with him, but 2 mother-in-laws, and you are in court, you came with a letter.
All right,
because you lost 2 mother-in-laws.
Let's anchor at that point. Bala Issa, a legal practitioner, thank you for joining us, talking to us today on Sunrise Daily. All right, let's take a look at this report. That's going to signpost what we're going to focus on next in a moment.